Hello, children. I hope all of you have done your MCQ test well and also completed up to problem set 14. Now, today we start with the next problem set 15, wherein we are going to learn problems related to division as well as statement questions related to division. Okay, so let's begin with the first question. Solve the following and write the quotient and the remainder. First one, 1284 divided by 32. So let's see how to do this. Now, 1284, this is your dividend. It is divided by 32, which is the divisor. Now, when you divide, 1284 is written inside, the division sign is put, and 32 is written in the divisor place. Now 32 will go how many times in the first number? Now surely 1, if I take the first number, 1 is a smaller number than 32 and hence it cannot be divided. Go to the second number 12, it's still lesser than 32. So I take the third number 128. 128 is a greater number than 32 and therefore let's find out 32 goes how many times in 128. It goes 4 times and so 32 fours are 128. Okay, so that's why 4 is written on top of 8 to understand that 32 goes 4 times and you get your answer 128. Subtract 128 minus 128, your answer is 0. Bring down the next number 4. Now 32 does not go in 4. So we put a 0. Okay. 4 minus 0, your answer is 4. Therefore, you get your quotient is 40 and the remainder is 4. So this is how we have to do the division sums. Second question, 5586 divided by 87. Now 87 does not go in the first number 5, neither in the second number 55 because it is still less. So we take the third number 558. 87 goes 6 times. Now children, you must always find a number in such a way, 87 into 6, you get an answer 522 which is less than 558. In case you are getting a bigger number, then you have to take the number which is smaller than that. Now for example, if I were to do 87 into 7, I would get a bigger number than 558 and therefore it's not possible. That is why I take the lesser number which is 6. So 87 into 6, I get my answer 522. Now when I subtract 558 minus 522, I get my answer 36. Okay. Now 36 I cannot divide, so I get the next number down. So I get my number as 366. 87 goes 4 times, so 348, because 87 into 5 would give me a bigger number than 366. So 87 into 4 is 348. Subtract, I get my answer 18. So quotient is 64 and remainder is 18. Children, I hope these sums are clear to you. Question number 3. 1207 divided by 27. Now 27 does not go in 1, neither in 12, and so I take the number 120. 27 goes 4 times, 108 is my answer. Subtract 120 minus 108, my answer is 12. Bring down the next number, 7. So my number now becomes 127. 27 again goes 4 times, 108. 127 minus 108, answer 19, which is the remainder. So quotient is 44, remainder is 19. Okay. Next question, 8543 divided by 41. 41 does not go in 8. Go to the next number of 85. Definitely 41 goes 2 times, 82. So 41 into 2 is 82. That is why 2 is written on top of 5 to show that 41 goes 2 times as 82. So 85 minus 82, answer is 3. Bring down the next number 34. Now 34 is a smaller number than 41. It does not go. Children, do not forget you have to put a 0. So 41 goes 0 times. So I get 0. 34 minus 0, my answer is 34. Now bring the next number down 3. So my number now is 343. So 2, then there is a 0. Now children, what happens is sometimes you forget to put that 0 and straight away you write your answer as 28, which will be wrong. So when I bring the number 4, if it is a smaller number than my divisor, I have to put a 0 and then bring the next number down, and here it is 343. Now check 41 goes how many times in 343? It goes 8 times. To get 328, subtract, I get my answer 15. So pay a little more attention as to how you get 0, 2, 0, 8. Okay. Now these are all basic things which you learn in your 5th standard, and this is important when you go to your higher classes. If you do not know these small little basic things, you tend to make mistakes later. Okay. So your quotient is 208 and your remainder is 15. We go to the next question. 2304 divided by 43. Now 43 does not go into 23, so 230. 43 goes 5 times, 215. Subtract, answer is 15. Bring the next number down, 154. 43 goes 3 times, 129. Subtract 154 minus 129, my answer is 25. Therefore, quotient is 53, remainder is 25. The last question in this, 56,741 divided by 26. 26 doesn't go in 5. Take the next number 56. It goes 2 times. 26 2s are 52. Subtract 56 minus 52, 4. Bring the next number down, 47. 26 goes 1 time. 26. Subtract 47 minus 26 is 21. Bring the next number down, 214. 26 goes 8 times, 208. Subtract 214 minus 208. Answer is 6. Bring the next number down, which is 1. 26 goes 2 times, 52. Subtract, answer 9. Your quotient is 2182 and the remainder is 9. Children, I hope you have understood how to do the division sums. Write down these questions, okay, in your classwork, and try to understand it, practice it well. We go to the second question in the textbook, which is, these are word problems now. How many hours will it take to travel 336 kilometers at a speed of 48 kilometers per hour? So the total distance traveled is 336 kilometers. The speed with which it travels is 48 kilometers per hour. You have to find the time that it takes, how many hours. That means we have to find the time. There is a formula which connects time, distance, and speed. So time is equal to distance divided by the speed. 336 kilometers divided by 48 kilometers per hour. So 336 divided by 48, it goes 7 times exactly. And therefore your answer is, it takes 7 hours to travel that distance. Okay. Next, we go to question number 3. Girija needed 35 cartons to pack 1400 books. There are an equal number of books in every carton. How many books did she pack into each carton? So, Girija had how many books totally? 1400. How many carton boxes did she have? 35. What we have to find out? 1400 books in 35 cartons. How many books did she keep in each of these cartons? And they were equal number. Okay, so how do I find out? 1400 books, how many cartons? 35. So if I were to divide 1400 by 35, I would get the number of books which are there in each carton box. So total number of books 1400, number of cartons 35. Therefore, number of books in each carton 1400 divided by 35, and when you divide, you will get 40 as your answer. So 35 doesn't go in 1, doesn't go in 14. Take 140. It goes 4 times. 140. There's a 0. So I put 0 on top. 35 into 40. She packs 40 books in each carton. Okay. And another way to check these questions is, children, when you multiply 35 into 40, there are 35 cartons and in each carton she puts 40 books. So if I multiply 35 into 40, I must get 1400, the total number of books. Okay, that's another way to check whether your sum is done properly. Okay, so that's question number 3. Next we go to question number 4. Question number 4. The contribution for a picnic was 65 rupees each. So every person had to pay 65 rupees for going for a picnic. Altogether 2,925 rupees were collected. How many had paid for the picnic? So total amount that was collected for the picnic is 2,925. Each person paid 65 rupees. We have to find out how many people paid this amount. Okay. So what we have to do is, these are the steps. Total amount collected is rupees 2,925. Amount paid by each is rupees 65. So how many people, number of people who paid for the picnic is 2,925 divided by 65. So 65 does not go in 2, does not go in 29. So I take 292. 65 goes 4 times, 260. When you subtract, you get 32. Bring down 5. 65 goes 5 times. So your answer is 45. So 45 people paid for the picnic. So if you multiply 65 into 45, your answer should come 2,925. Okay, that's how we check the sum. So next question, number 5. Question number 5. Which number on being multiplied by 56 gives a product 9,688? So that's your question. There is a number which when multiplied by 56, the answer should come 9,688. So we don't know that number, let it be x. So when I multiply x with 56, my answer should come 9688. So how do I find out x? When 56 goes to the other side of equal to, into becomes divide. So it is 9688 divided by 56. So as we have been doing the division sums, when you calculate, you get your answer as 173. Okay. Next, we go to question number 6. Question number 6. If 48 sheets are required for making one notebook, how many notebooks at the most will 5,880 sheets make? And how many sheets will be left over? So to make one notebook, you require 48 sheets. How many sheets are there totally? 5,880 sheets are there. So to find out how many books can be made out of it, what must we do? Total number of sheets divided by the number of sheets required to make one book. So 5880 divided by 48 will give you the number of notebooks that can be made. I hope children by now, by looking at the sum, you are able to understand how to go about doing it. Okay. So number of sheets required to make a notebook, 48. Total number of sheets which are available, 5,880. So how many notebooks can be made? Divide. You get your answer 122 and you have a remainder 24. So those will be the sheets which will be left over. So your answer is 122 notebooks can be made and 24 sheets will be left over. Okay. So this is how we do question number 6. Question number 7. Your question is, what will be the quotient? What will the quotient be when the smallest 5-digit number is divided by the smallest 4-digit number? So you have to first write down what is the smallest 5-digit number and what is the smallest 4-digit number. Smallest 5-digit number, 10,000. 4-digit number, 1,000. Divide, you get your answer, 10. Okay. We go to the next problem set, number 16, which is a combination of all the different types of operations that you have learned, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So you have to read the sum, understand what is to be done and then do it accordingly. Okay. First question. From a total of 10,000 rupees, Anna donated 7,000 rupees to a school. The remaining amount was to be divided equally among 6 students as the all-round student prize. What was the amount of each prize? So you have to read the question till you understand. Total amount of money that Anna had is how much? 10,000. How much did she donate to the school? 7,000. So from 10,000, if she has given 7,000, how much does she have with her? 10,000 minus 7,000. How much is that? 3,000. So she has 3,000 rupees with her. Now this rupees 3,000 is going to be divided equally among 6 students. And you have to find out how much did each student get. So 3,000 has to be divided by 6. So these are very simple sums, children. You need to read the question to understand well and then do it. So total amount 10,000 rupees. Amount donated 7,000 rupees. Remaining amount with her 10,000 minus 7,000, which is 3,000. This amount is divided equally among 6 students. So amount of each prize 3,000 divided by 6, which is 500. So each amount of each prize will be rupees 500. Okay. Children, I hope it's clear to you how to do these kind of sums. In fact, you can try out yourself, and what you're not getting, you can look at how I have done and do it. Okay. It's always good to try sums on your own. Question number 2. An amount of 260 rupees each was collected from 50 students for a picnic. So total number of students who are going for the picnic is how much? 50. How much money was collected from each student? 260 rupees. If 11,450 rupees was spent for the picnic, what is the amount left over? So total, how much money would have been collected for the picnic? 260 into 50. That would be the amount. Now, out of that amount, 11,450 has been spent. What will be the amount left over? The total money collected minus 11,450 would be the amount that would be left over. Correct? So let's see how to do this sum. Amount collected from each student is rupees 260. Number of students 50. Total amount collected multiply, you get 13,000. The amount spent for the picnic is 11,450. So the amount that is left over is 13,000 minus 11,450. Your answer is rupees 1,550. Okay. Children, I hope it's clear. We go to question number 3. Question number 3. A shopkeeper brought a sack of 50 kg sugar for 1,750 rupees. As the price of sugar fell, he had to sell it at the rate of 32 rupees per kilo. How much less money did he get than he had spent? Okay. So what is the question? He purchased how much? A sack of 50 kg sugar. So he purchased one sack of sugar that contained 50 kgs. And how much money did he pay for it? 1,750 rupees. After some time, what happened? The price of sugar fell. It fell to 32 rupees per kilo. Okay. So you have to find out how much money did he spend. Means how much did he sell it for with 32 rupees per kilo. How much amount did he get when he sold it? And did he get less money or did he get more money when he did that? That's what we have to find out. So amount paid for purchasing 50 kg sugar is 1,750. Amount paid per kg while selling. So he spent 32 rupees per kg, isn't it? So how much did he get? Amount received after selling. Now 32 rupees for 1 kg. How many kgs of sugar were there? 50. So 32 into 50. I get 1,600 rupees. Whereas he actually paid how much for buying it? 1,750. So which is a bigger number? 1,750 or 1,600? 1,750. That means he paid more money while purchasing it. And while selling, he got less money. So how much money he got less? Subtract, you get your answer 150 rupees. Okay. Children, I hope that answer is clear to all of you. We go to question number 4. Question number 4. A shopkeeper brought 7 pressure cookers at the rate of 1,870 rupees per cooker. So for one cooker, the cost of one cooker is how much? 1,870 rupees. Like this, how many cookers did the shopkeeper buy? 7. So how much money he would have given totally? 1,870. You should multiply it with 7. You would get the amount that he spent for buying all the 7 cookers. He sold them all for a total of 14,230 rupees. So he sold all of them and he got 14,230 rupees. Did he get less or more money than he had spent? So this is quite similar to the one that we did before. What you have to do, a rate of purchasing one cooker, 1,870 rupees. How many cookers did he buy? 7. So what is the cost of purchasing 7 cookers? Multiply 1870 into 7. You get rupees 13,090. What is the selling price of the cookers? He sold all the cookers and how much money did he get? 14,230. See, for buying it, he spent 13,090. While selling it, he got 14,230. Which amount is more? The selling price or the cost price? Selling price. That means he made a profit, isn't it? How much money did he make profit? The selling price minus the cost price. So 14,230 minus 13,090, your answer is 1,140 rupees. So this is the amount that he got more. Okay. Next, we go to question number 5. Question number 5. 14 families in a society together brought 8 sacks of wheat, each weighing 98 kilos. If they shared all the wheat equally, what was the share of each family? So there's a society. How many families stay in that society? 14. So what did they buy? They brought 8 sacks of wheat. And how much did each sack contain? 98 kilos. So they purchased 8 sacks and each sack contained 98 kilos. So totally how many kilos are there? 8 into 98. Correct. Now that many kilos of wheat has been purchased by the society. Now, what was the share of each family? How many families? 14. So this, when you multiply, the answer that you get should be divided by 14. So you will get how much did each family get. So weight of each sack of wheat? 98. Number of sacks? 8. Multiply. What is the total weight of wheat you get? 784 kg. Number of families which are sharing the wheat? 14. So share of each family. 784 divided by 14, you get your answer 56. So therefore, share of each family is 56 kgs. So 56 kgs, which is shared by 14. So if I were to multiply 56 into 14, I would get my answer 784. Okay. So that's another way to check whether what I've done is correct. Now, let's go to the last question of this exercise. Question number 6. The capacity of an overhead water tank is 3,000 liters. There are 16 families living in this building. If each family uses 225 liters every day, will the tank filled to capacity be enough for all the families? If not, what will be the daily shortfall? So there is a society wherein there is an overhead water tank. Okay, overhead water tank means there is a water tank which is maybe built right on top of the society, the building. And what is the capacity of that tank? It contains 3,000 liters. That is the capacity it can hold. Okay. How many how many families live in that society? 16. And each family requires how much of water every day? 225. So totally in a day, if each family requires 225 liters, totally how much of water they might be requiring? 16 into 225. That is the amount that they will be using. So let's see whether that is sufficient. So number of liters used by each family is 225. Number of families are 16. Total number of liters used up, when you multiply, you get 3,600 liters. Whereas what is the capacity of the overhead water tank? It's only 3,000 liters. So how much is the shortfall that they are facing every day? 3,600 minus 3,000. So 600 liters. So the daily shortfall is 600 liters. Okay. So this is how question number 6 has to be done. Now with this, children, we have come to the last question of this exercise and the lesson is done. Now in this particular session, I have taken two exercises, problem set 15 and 16. Okay. So I want all of you to be completing these sums in your classwork so that your lesson number 4 will be completely done. Okay. So apart from just completing your work, children, make it a practice to solve all these sums once again in your rough books as many times as you can. Try to practice and revise. These are all very simple sums. They are all very basic sums which you require even for your higher classes. So solve it and see that you are thorough with all the sums. Okay. So that's it for today, children. Thank you.